Hey guys, I just wanted to make you a video because I've been getting a lot of questions and obviously it's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So just thought I'd try this out. Bear with me as we figure these things out. Many of you guys know my wife is an online teacher, so I've kind of been using her platform and getting her help to kind of do this whole online video thing. So as I go through, if we decide to do this more, maybe I'll get better at it. If not, well, you're just gonna have to bear with me. So I wanted to touch base with you guys because, like I said, I've been getting a lot of questions, rightfully so. But just keep in mind what you guys know is what we know. And so I'm going to continue putting information out on Google Classroom. If you have friends that are kind of out of the loop, don't know what's going on, send them the Google Classroom code or have them email me. Both those things are pretty easy to do. So that way they're staying caught up with stuff. I don't know what the rest of your teachers are doing. Again, that's not really my business, but between you guys and myself, hopefully you already know I value your education. I love science almost to a fault. I know you guys think I'm a nerd about that. But I want you guys to, despite this whole situation, still be able to learn something. And hopefully I can make the whole concept of physics interesting to you, and I'm going to do my best to do that. So with that being said, this first video is just kind of for me to learn this platform, for you guys to maybe even see a familiar face. It's been a while. And then to answer some questions that you might have. So I kind of pulled up, you guys can see here, these are just some questions that you had sent me. And so I'm going to go through these pretty quick. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but I think I highlighted the ones that are just questions that seem pretty universal. So I'm just going to go through these as quick as I can, give you some answers that hopefully can ease your mind. So the first one is the stuff that I'm giving you going to be graded. The short answer is no. From the school district, we're not supposed to be giving you guys actual grades in the grade book, but it's still our responsibility to give you the content. So that's kind of two separate things there. So here's what I will say. I'm going to give you notes that might be in a PowerPoint, it might be in a video I send you, and then I'm going to give you those quizzes like we did today. So the purpose of that quiz is for you to kind of see what you should know. So if you took the quiz today, good. If you haven't yet, please do that. I was actually pretty pleased. About, I'd say 50% of you guys have already taken it, and the average was an 8 out of 11. So that's a pretty good score for you to be able to getting those correct based on just a video or a PowerPoint. If that's the best we can do moving forward, then it is what it is, but at least you're still getting the content. So easy answer, is it going to go in the grade book for an actual grade? No. But I still have a responsibility to teach you these things. And so when you get your score, no, it's not going to go in the grade book. But that's kind of an idea of what, for you to know what you actually learned if you're on target with what I want you to know. So the next question down here was, do you think we're going to do online school for the rest of the year? I don't know. Every day this whole process seems to be changing. I think the more you watch what's going on, the more likely it is that we are going to be doing this for the rest of the year. I don't know what that looks like. I feel like what I've been doing has been, pretty good for you guys in getting content, but I don't know about other teachers in other school if it's, if their students are getting, a quality education. So that'll be up to the school district, and when I know, you'll know. So the next one, let me know. Oh, I highlighted this one. So they said, please let me know when you're texting so I don't ignore it. I'm actually going to flip this camera around there. So I don't really know what that question means, but I will say this. If you don't have your notifications on Google Classroom, you really need to turn them on. I don't know about the other platforms or cell phone carriers, but I know if you have an iPhone, you can enable notifications through Google Classroom. So whenever teachers post something, you're notified right away. You won't get behind. You'll know what things you have to do. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that so you get a notification right away of what you should be doing. So next question. This is a good question. Are we still taking grades because I left off with a D in your class, which I can't have right now? So I was really concerned about this too with your guys' grades. The only thing we had the grade book was the quiz that we took, and most of you guys did really good, and you have an A or a B. There were a handful of you guys that did not do so well, and so you got a D or an F, or even a C. And just it's not really fair for you to have one grade determine what your actual grade in the class was. So what I did today was I went in and I put the assignment of that Slinky lab that we did. I stamped almost everybody's grade. There may be somebody in here that I didn't stamp your notebook for the Slinky Lab, but anyway, I went into Infinite Campus and just gave you all 100% for that anyway. The reason why that affected your grade so much today is because there weren't any assignments under the just the assignments category in the gradebook. So the only thing that was in there was that quiz. So even though I just put 10 out of 10 for everybody, it should have increased everybody's grade pretty dramatically. So right now, if you don't like where your grade is at the moment, I don't see it changing until I'm actually allowed to give you grades. But everybody should have seen their grade go up. So if you have any further questions about that, just email me. Next one, somebody said, I'm confused if we're starting online school because most of my teachers haven't given me any work to do and said they can't give us work. All right, so I'm still your teacher. I still have a job to do teaching you physics. While I can't actually give you a grade for particular assignments, I think that's just a temporary thing. You guys are going to have to get grades. Again, before we left for school, I told you that you have to have your seat time. You have to get your credits. The school and the school district aren't going to leave you like high and dry and not, all being credit deficient all of a sudden because of this thing that you have no control over. So with that being said, your teachers should be sending you stuff. I know I'm going to send you every other day like we were on block schedule. So today I sent you something out. Tomorrow you won't get anything from me, but then on Wednesday you will. And so it'll be every other day, and you can kind of expect what we did today to be what you're going to do every single day. So with that being said, I don't know about your other teachers. They should be sending you stuff. Whether they are or aren't, you can email them about that. I'm not going to talk specifically about other teachers and their classes because I don't really know how they do things, and that's not really my business. But for me, what I gave you today is what we're going to have every other day. And so I think it was pretty easy and straightforward. Just stay on top of the things that I send you and you'll be good. So let's see. If I do any late assignments, will I still get some credit for it? So again, for right now, we don't have assignments, so you can't really do them late. If by some means we're able to get back into school, like physically in the school, I think it'd be cool to kind of give you guys some sort of reward for staying up on all these things. So even though there's not an actual grade for it, please do them, stay on top of them, and I will do my best to try to integrate like something for you guys, just for doing the things that you're supposed to do. So somebody said, how will it work? I think we're all kind of learning, and hopefully I can't talk about other classes, but for me, hopefully you've got a good idea of what it looks like. Okay, this next one isn't really a question, but something that I've gotten a lot of emails about today. So that quiz I sent out to you, just so you guys know, when I make those quizzes and I put those answers in, I have to type in every possible answer that you could give me. And so I know the answer was like eardrums or ears or something like that. And a lot of you emailed me that you capitalized it, but it said the right answer was lowercase. So that's on me. When I make those quizzes, I have to actually put in every iteration of it. I even have to, if there's a common misspelling, I'll often put that in there just in case somebody misspells the word. I don't want you, not getting credit for that question. So, bigger picture, you're not getting an actual grade for those as much as like a completion, and your actual score is going to tell you, do you know what you need to know? So in the future, I'm going to try to make sure I have all the possible spellings and capitalizations and all that stuff. But if something weird happens like that, don't stress over it. It's not going to be held against your grade, so don't worry about it. Let's see, email back with short responses. So I think I've been pretty good about getting back to your guys' emails as quick as possible. So I just wanted to give you kind of like a little heads up thing. When you email me, I'm going to email you back like a text message. Like I'm not going to do the whole formal thing. You guys know I'm not a very formal person, so I'm not going to do the, hey, so-and-so, comma, space, whatever. I'm just going to, reply to you like it's a text message, and so don't be all offended like, ooh, in English we were taught how we're supposed to write a letter like this. It's not going to be like that for me. So just bear with me, and we'll respond back and forth as if it were like a text conversation. So let's see. So I'm thinking for I kind of asked about doing Zoom sessions, and I kind of played around with it yesterday, and it just seems like a lot. And I realized that you have to download an app, and you guys have to mute your microphones and unmute it and whatever, and it just seems like too much. So instead, I actually have a YouTube account with my school Gmail. So what I'm gonna do is actually record or start like a live chat, and I'll give you guys a heads up when it's happening, but a live stream, and then that way I can talk to you in real time, and then you guys can comment in the comment section, and I can answer those things. We can do it like physics related, or I feel like at this point you guys are more interested in like the whole coronavirus thing and what's going on with that, and what are the facts and all the stuff you've heard, what's true, what's not true. And so maybe we'll just use it for that and not necessarily physics, because I can just send you physics stuff. But as far as like question and answer kind of stuff, it just might be a tool we can use. So that's getting verified. That'll be ready probably tomorrow or Wednesday, and then I'll give you guys a heads up like when that's coming, and we'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We won't do it. But so last thing, I kind of already talked about this, but your quiz grades, the first one, the average was an 8 out of 11, and a lot of you guys missed questions just because of capitalization and misspelling, and so really that's a good thing. And so what I want to do is just move forward with that. That way I kind of have an idea that you're doing it. We can be accountable to each other, that I'm giving you an assessment. You are, at least you're checking and making sure you know the things that you're supposed to know, or even if you don't, you know what I want you to know. And so just keep going with those. I like that score. That's great for the first one, and you guys kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, and we'll just use that in the long, however long we have to do this. So, and then lastly, I already kind of talked about fourth quarter grades. I don't know what that's going to look like. There are some states, like I think I read Kansas, just kind of like said school's over, and so whatever your grade is, that's what you get. I don't see Nevada doing that, but I do see the possibility that there could be some kind of hybrid grade with what your third quarter was and something with fourth quarter. I don't really know. Remember, I'm not trying to keep anything from you. The school district isn't either. I don't think they figured out what they're going to do. And so they've even been talking about implementing other platforms. I don't know what that means. I feel like I can teach this class just like we're doing now. I can talk to you through email and Google Classroom, and everything will be fine. But if the district decides they want to do something else, we'll deal with it. But hopefully we can just do it this way. And if it goes the rest of the year, like somebody asked in the beginning, if we go like this, we go like this. And, it is what it is. We got to deal with the situation. I will tell you, as far as the whole coronavirus thing goes, I told many of you guys, this is going to be something you're going to remember for the rest of your lives. You shouldn't, I don't want you to be scared about it, but be aware. And so watch the news, know what's going on. Don't become engrossed in it and obsessed over it, but know what's going on, educate yourself, look at the news. I'm going to try to bring you guys information on it too. But the example I gave you guys was, when I was a freshman in high school, 9/11 happened, and that kind of changed everything. We were freaked out. Schools were on lockdown. Everything was canceled. School trips were canceled. Dances were canceled for a while. Everything was canceled. And it was really difficult for us. And so this is kind of like that for you. It's the first time in your lives that something like this has happened. But keep in mind that epidemics and pandemics and viruses, this has happened in history before. As much as it sounds like everything's going as worse as possible as it could, we will get through it. But like I always said in class too, you have a part. Don't think of yourself as a teenager or just a kid or you can't do anything. You have a job to do. Do what the governor says. Governor Sisolak has put out videos and news conferences of what we should do. Watch the president's news conferences when, President Trump or Governor Sisolak or Mayor Goodwin or whoever, when they tell you guidelines of what we should be doing as a community, follow them. Whether they're the politicians you like or not, society has to get through this together. And so that would be my 2 cents for you guys. I'll leave you with this. I'm going to put out a Google form of just 2 questions for you to fill out. One is going to be, do you have any questions about physics? And then the other one will be, do you have any questions about coronavirus? And so I'm going to have you guys submit that, and then my next video, I'll just go through and answer your questions. So that's all I have for today. Next video, probably be from here too. This is my wife's office, her classroom. She teaches biology from home. So I'm just going to use her technology and record from her classroom, and then we'll go from there. So until then, stay safe and help your parents out, make their life easier.